Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to install fog lights on a first generation Toyota Sequoia or a Tundra. The method that I'm going to be showing you in this video is the simplest, cleanest, and the fastest, as we're going to be using the original factory wiring harness. You don't need to do any kind of custom wiring or splicing, and the entire process should take you only 10 to 15 minutes tops. If you're new to the channel, welcome again, and do consider hitting the like and subscribe button down below if you would like to see more of my automotive DIY content. If you're already a subscriber, I want to take this moment to thank you for your support. It really means a lot to me. So let's jump right into the installation. Even if your Sequoia did not come with fog lights, it should be pre-wired for them. This means that the vehicle already has the internal wiring harness for the fog lights to function. All you need to do is install the fog lights and the bulbs, the relay for the fog lights, and finally the switch to turn them on and off. You can find the links to where you can find all these three parts in the video description below. Head down to the front bumper of the car where you can see these two blanks where the fog lights are supposed to be installed. Using a plastic pry tool, pry downwards on the top part of the blank to push it out. Don't use anything metal such as a screwdriver, as the bumper is plastic and can easily be scratched. Once the blank is removed, you can reach in and pull out the fog light wiring harness like this. Here are the fog lights all packaged up and ready. Since we're going to be using the factory wiring harness, adding a relay and replacing the turn signal switch, we don't need anything else in the box, just the two fog light housings. They even come with the bulbs installed. Before you install the fog light, you need to remove this mounting screw. Snap the cap off as shown, and then remove the screw using a Phillips screwdriver. Connect the electrical connector to the fog light as shown, and then carefully push the fog light into the bumper until it snaps into place. Make sure that the label that says stop on the fog light lens faces upwards when you install it. Next, we need to remove these three 10mm screws so that we can slightly pull down the engine undercover and then install the fog light mounting screw from below. At this point, you can also adjust the angle of the fog light beam by tilting it up and down as shown. Install the screw as shown and then tighten it down so that it is snug and the fog light housing does not move. Now you can go ahead and reinstall the 10mm screws holding the engine undercover to the bumper. The process is exactly the same for the other side. Remove the mounting screw from the fog light, connect its electrical connector, and then install it into the bumper. Remove the three screws so you can access the fog light housing from below. Install the mounting screw, and then reinstall the screws to button everything back up. This completes the first phase of the install, and we can move on to the next step, which involves installing the fog light switch and its relay. The switch for the fog light on these cars is present on the combo headlight switch, so you'll need to replace this one with one that includes the fog light switch. To gain access to it, we need to first remove this plastic trim piece surrounding the steering column. It is held in by three Phillips screws. One is on the bottom side over here. To access the other two and remove them, you'll need to turn the steering wheel as shown. The trim piece consists of two halves. Remove the bottom half by pulling downwards as shown. You don't have to remove the top half completely, just pull it upwards so that the headlight combo switch is completely accessible. To remove the switch, we need to first remove this electrical connector. Push down on the tab and then pull the connector out. Next, you need to remove these two screws, one on the top and one on the bottom, which hold the switch to the steering column. It's that simple, and now you can pull the combo switch out. Here are the two combo switches side by side. As you can see, the new one has a fog light switch integrated into it. Slide the new combo switch into place as shown. Tighten down the two Phillips screws, and then insert the electrical connector into its slot. Before we put the trim back together again, we're going to quickly test the combo switch to make sure all its functions work properly. You want to check the high beams, the low beams, and the turn signals. For the trim pieces, first push the top half down into place, and then push the bottom half into place. You need two hands to do this, which is why I couldn't get footage of them snapping together, but it is pretty straightforward. The final step is to reinstall the three Phillips screws. Now the fog light switch is installed, and we can move on to the next phase, the fog light relay. The relay you need to use has the part number printed on it as shown. This is a very common relay used in many different Toyota and Lexus models. You can find them for pretty cheap online or at the junkyard. To install the relay, you need to go under the driver's side footwell area as shown. Here is the relay bank which the fog light relay needs to be plugged into. The relay needs to be plugged into the back of this bank. This is probably the hardest part of the install, as you'll basically be going in with the relay blind. If you're working on a first generation Toyota Tundra instead of a Sequoia, here is where things might be different for you. On some Tundra models, the empty slot for the fog light relay is instead located in the engine compartment fuse box. Since the fuse box in the engine bay is obviously much easier to access, it makes sense to check there first for the empty slot. Let's get back to our installation. It is very difficult to get the camera up there to give you a good look, but as you can kind of see, the relay goes in the middle of the bottom edge over here. Another tip to help you align the relay properly is to face the printed side downwards. Here is how it looks installed. Now it's time to test the fog lights out. Remember that they will turn on only when the low beams are on as well. As you can see, the fog lights work perfectly. This completes the install. So that brings us to the end of today's video. If you liked it and would like to watch more of my content, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.